What's up? Good morning on the West Coast. Good afternoon in Central Time Zone where I am in New Orleans. Grant Cohn, Ryan G. Hensley. Niners took care of business against the Saints yesterday. It's not a great team, but it was a good game. It was a close game. It was kind of a preseason game at times. But you know what? A win's a win. And now the Niners are 2-0. And they just won 2 games on the road. And every time Kyle Shanahan has started the season 2-0 since coaching the 49ers, he has taken this team to the NFC Championship game. So we're going to talk about whether this team is truly a contender or not in a minute. I'm going to have to wait. First, we're going to talk about the brewing quarterback controversy in Santa Clara. It's very controversial. No, let's break it down. Like, what did you see from Mac in this game? And sort of, let's start there. What did you like about Mac Jones?
Well, first, I think I need to acknowledge that Mac Jones is a better person, teammate, and quarterback than I ever had him marked down to be. I didn't like Mac Jones coming out of college, and maybe it was for legitimate reasons. He just seemed to have some off the field immaturity issues. That's what I saw coming out of college, but that might be a normal thing for kids his age when he was coming out of college. I just didn't see the leader, and I really didn't want the 49ers to draft him. I didn't think he was going to be that great. His rookie season with the Patriots, he balled out, ended up making the Pro Bowls. There's, a couple of people dropped out, and that had something to do with it, but he still made the Pro Bowl as a rookie. That should have opened a lot of people's eyes. Not saying he's amazing or top 5 or top 10 or anything like that, but the fact that he made a Pro Bowl as a rookie should have said something. Then he struggled. He did well with McDaniels, struggled after that. Now here with the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, I think he's found an offense that really works in his favor. And if the 49ers could improve that offensive line somehow, if Brandon Ayuk could come back, George Kittle come back, I really think Mac Jones could have a lot of success on this team.
I didn't necessarily expect that he would do that well in this game. I mean, yeah, the Saints aren't great, but it's his first start. It's on the road. He didn't look great in the preseason, so I didn't really know what to expect. And I was pleasantly surprised. I thought he saw the field well. I thought his arm was pretty strong, and he was making throws that I haven't seen Niners quarterbacks make in a while. I mean, much stronger arm than Jimmy, stronger arm than Brock. I thought he processed maybe a little slow, like held the ball a little bit longer than you would like. But I thought his accuracy was good. I thought his anticipation was good. I thought his decision making was really good. I don't think I didn't see him just toss any balls up for grabs, any YOLO balls, the Jimmy Garoppolo, Brock Purdy YOLO balls that we've seen over time. Maybe if Mac were to start 40 games for the Niners, he'd start doing that. But in this game, I thought he made really good decisions, protected the football, and led the team. I think you could see that the offense likes playing with Mac Jones.
Yeah, he has good energy out there. He did look a little nervous the first few plays, but after that, man, he just went on a tear. You mentioned the arm strength. You could really tell, like on the long shot where he overthrew the guy. Obviously, you got to get that accurate. But what I noticed is the trajectory of that ball and how quick it came off is just shot off his hand. And the trajectory was different from what we've been seeing from Brock, whereas Brock's deep balls have a little bit of loft on them. Max was more direct. So you could definitely see the difference in arm talent. You also see the difference in mobility. Like Brock is way more mobile. But I think with Mac Jones, man, I'd have to go back and look at the film to see how these receivers are getting open right now. But like a little slow on getting the ball out. But I don't know if these receivers were necessarily wide open either. But I did love watching him play, man. He can air it out, and he's a lot better than I anticipated. So I was wrong on Mac Jones. Somebody tweeted something out, man. It made me just contemplate and think about what if the 49ers just drafted Mac Jones at 12 instead of trading all those picks for Trey Lance. Who knows where they'd be at right now? Who knows if Brock Purdy would even have a career if they did that? But shout out to Mac Jones, man. The 49ers can definitely win some games with him. I think no matter who's the quarterback, Brock or Mac Jones, especially once you get Brandon Ayuk back and George Kittle back, and if this offensive line can start gelling a little bit, I think both quarterbacks could have quite a bit of success this year.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta remember that Mac Jones is actually more experienced than Brock Purdy. Brock started 37 games in the regular season, Mac has started 50. They've both been to 1 Pro Bowl. So, yeah, I mean, it was interesting watching a veteran quarterback look like a veteran quarterback, and I think to me, like, if you were just gonna break them down, field vision, maybe I'd give it to Mac. Processing, probably give it to Brock. Decision making, maybe I'd give that one to Mac, at least right now, at least after this one game. Mobility, clearly Brock. I mean, they can go back and forth, but I think what we've seen is a lot of quarterbacks can have success in this system. And Trey Lance, maybe he would have been one of them, but he wasn't. He was a project. There are certain system quarterbacks, and I don't mean it as a pejorative, but guys who can have instant success in this system. Jimmy
Sure.
was one, Brock was two, Mac is three. And it's great to have two quarterbacks who can do that on the same team. They had that in 2023 when they went to the Super Bowl because the Niners aren't particularly good at keeping anyone healthy. And quarterbacks go down. Brock runs around a lot. So I think this is great news to have another quarterback who can win, put up a quarterback rating of 115. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do in this system.
Yeah, I think really if you're a decent quarterback and you can understand Kyle's system, I mean, if Jimmy Garoppolo can have the kind of success that he had in this system, a lot of quarterbacks can have it. And so, Mac Jones is one of those guys. Brock Purdy's one of those guys. The fact that Jimmy had success and then went on to play for the Raiders and looked pretty awful says a lot, right? Like this system is very quarterback friendly. Of course, I would love a guy to just put the team on their back and carry them, but you really don't need that in that times. That actually hurts this team. You just need to take what the defense gives you and stay within the offense, and you'll have success.
And that's sort of I want to come back to like the meta conversation here, the conversation around Brock Purdy. I feel like since he came on the scene and sort of saved them from the Trey Lance mistake, the narrative about him is that he's been covering up for a lot of the Niners' problems and he's been elevating Kyle and elevating the offense and elevating the offensive line and the pass protection is trash, but thank God they got Brock Purdy out there making something out of nothing and Kyle isn't really what he used to be. And I think there was a big expectation that even against the Saints, that Mac was going to look kind of rough and he was going to get sacked and he was going to make a bunch of mistakes. And that didn't happen at all. I think to me, it reinforced my feeling that I'm like probably lower on Kyle than most people, but his system elevates quarterbacks, especially the ones that fit his system, not the other way around. And so Brock Purdy's good and he has a very entertaining style of play, but Kyle is doing more for Brock than Brock is doing for Kyle. And Brock wouldn't necessarily be this successful on the freaking New England Patriots. And now we're seeing the same thing with Mac. Prize Picks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Win or lose, you'll get $50 for playing. Use promo code COHN, COHN, and download the app now.
Yeah, they were talking about how Mac was going to get ate up because of his lack of mobility. He's a little bit more mobile than I thought, but what you have to do is just get the ball out quick. Now, Max struggled a little with that, but I mean, if Jimmy Garoppolo can survive in this offense, just getting the ball out quick. I mean, look, here's a perfect example. I mean, Brock does scramble and it's amazing, but it gets him hurt sometimes. He's gotten hurt a couple times by scrambling. Whereas, like, if you look at Tom Brady's career,
Mhm.
the reason why he was able to have such a long, lengthy career is he gets the ball out quick or he throws it away and he's not taking punishment. So if you're a quarterback like Mac Jones, that's the way you have to approach it. And I actually wish Brock Purdy would approach it a little bit more in that regard as well. At least get down and slide and protect yourself and stop taking these hits because what you want is a long career. And with Kyle Shanahan's offense, as long as you're getting the ball out quick and just, there's always going to be somebody open. It might just be underneath, it might be a dump off, it might be a little dink and dunk, but you can prolong your career and win a lot of games by just taking what the defense gives you in this system.
You mentioned Mac's leadership. It was something I was down on. He didn't seem like a guy who could lead an NFL team coming out of Alabama. But I got to say that yesterday, it seemed like one of the things that his teammates kept talking about with him was the leadership. And I feel like since he's been here, people keep talking about his demeanor, that it's unique and it works. What do people keep saying about him? He's funny. He has swag, right? Like the way he dresses, like he comes in these three-piece suits to the game. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of serious. Uh he's one of the guys. He seems to have relationships with everyone. Did you see who was dancing at the front of the boombox? Now that Debo's gone, it's Trent. And did you see who else?
Was it Demo or was it Mac?
It was Mac, and it was Demo, and it was
Yeah.
Bourne, but it was Mac there too, and he knew the words, and they were all. I mean, like, I think not to make not to say that one is good and one is bad, but like that's the that's a big difference between him and Brock. Brock is very serious. Brock dresses like a math teacher. Brock is extremely rich now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think that there's something kind of refreshing about Mac. Not that they don't like Brock, because I know they do, but Mac is so different and it's working. Yeah.
This is why I said that I know this is a weird transition, not necessarily a transition, but talking about Jake Moody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mac Jones is kind of in the position that Jake Moody is hoping to find himself in soon.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pressure on Mac Jones being that highly drafted on the Patriots, coming after Tom Brady, supposed to be that guy, didn't work out, and that creates a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. Now he's been, he went to the Jags for a minute. Now he's with the Niners. He doesn't have that same pressure. And I'm sure Jake Moody will. I'm hoping Jake Moody for himself will find that same situation on the Bears or wherever he ends up. But sometimes you just need a fresh start, and I think that's why we're seeing this happy Mac Jones.
Last thing I want to say about this, it kind of reminds me of the career arc for every system quarterback on the Niners under Kyle. Jimmy, Brock, and now Mac. Maybe Mac won't become. I mean, obviously he won't become a starting quarterback here unless Brock's hurt for a long time. But Jimmy, his best games were his first games. His first 5 starts were incredible. Then he got hurt. But I think what happens is he fits the system, and the league doesn't know your tendencies within the system. So it takes him a year or 2 or 3 to figure out where you like to throw, who you want to throw to, what you want to do in certain situations. And by the end, Jimmy Garoppolo the book was out on him, and he was kind of a mistake-prone, injury-prone quarterback. Brock, his best stretch was at the beginning. He lit the league up. People didn't know his tendencies. They didn't know he liked to roll left out of pressure. And now he's starting to struggle with mistakes and injuries, although he's still a good quarterback. Matt comes in, lights it up. No one knows his tendencies, who he likes to throw to, what he wants to do. I wonder what he would look like in 2 years if he were still the quarterback. He might be a mistake-prone, injury-prone quarterback just like the other. I don't know. But right now, it looked good yesterday.
I think he's an excellent backup for the 49ers right now. He's going to have to find a good system. Like if he wants to be a starter somewhere, he's going to have to find a really good coordinator. I still, no offense to him, I don't think he's like that dude. Like I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. That's not my opinion of Mac Jones. But I think you're speaking to a lot of things, right? He's new. There's no film on him. If you look at Brock Purdy in that first game, the defense took away the middle of the field. They forced him, right? Their goal was to stop the run, take away the middle of the field with Brock Purdy, make him throw down the sidelines. And he was able to scrape through and get that W, but he had quite a bit of interceptions in that process. Same thing with Mac Jones, like you just brought up. There's really not a lot of film on Mac in this offense. There's none. So he was able to capitalize and take advantage of that. I really don't think Mac Jones is like, the savior of the 49ers if something happens to Brock, but I think you can have a lot of success with Mac. And, I'm happy for him. I love underdogs. I like seeing people fight their way back and have success. And he might end up becoming a trade piece for the 49ers, if not this year, next year, because they have him in contract for 2 years at like $8.8 million, which is a great contract to have. There's going to be a lot of teams that would love to trade for him at some point, whether it's if he continues, it might even be this year or it could be this next offseason. So we'll see what happens, but it's good to see the 49ers can have success with Mac Jones.
My last thought on this is the contract. I mean, I was against it before it happened. They pulled it off. It's team friendly. They can get out of it. But as you can see, they have to budget for the future. Like they're not spending their cap space now because they have to roll it over for the next couple of years because they're all trying to make this work into the future. And they might win the Super Bowl this year. I don't know. We'll talk about that. It just seems like it's so difficult to build a super competitive team or a super talented team paying that much money for a quarterback. I mean, the Bengals struggle to do it with Joe Burrow. With Kyle Shanahan, he's able to get such incredible production efficiency out of the Sam Darnolds and Mac Joneses of the world. that maybe you're in a unique position to not enter the top tier quarterback market, which is so freaking expensive. Maybe you're in a unique position to trade Jimmy Garoppolo before making him the highest paid player in the league. Trade Jimmy for 4 first round picks or 3 or whatever it would have been in 2018, 2019. Trade Brock instead of, and then have the confidence that Kyle can make it work with the next Sam Darnold or the next Mac Jones. And he may not be the best quarterback in the league, but you're going to put around such a good team around him. It won't matter. But no team has ever had the gumption to do anything like that. And I don't know if they ever will, but it's an option. I just want to throw it out there. You don't have to pay super big money for a quarterback every time. Might work out though.
Yeah, I think with Brock, the quarterback position is more than what you do on the field. It's what you do off the field. It's what you do in the locker room. What you do in practice. How you lead. How you talk to the media. That all plays a part. And Brock is fantastic at all of those things. I think he just became a great story, the face of the franchise, and a solid quarterback in the NFL. I do think, however, whenever you're looking at a Kyle Shanahan quarterback, you can they probably get a 5 to 7 bump as far as like rankings, right? Like if you're the 10th best quarterback on the 49ers, you're probably really 15th. But because you're on the 49ers, you get a little bump. I do think Brock is way better than Jimmy. I think he's better than Mac Jones. So I understand them wanting to go with him, but it was something we talked about as well. Like you didn't really have to. You could have made him play out this contract and see if you wanted to save some money. 49ers probably weren't into that. They didn't want the controversy. They didn't want the drama. They just wanted to reward Brock for what he's done and crown him the face of the franchise. And he's really good at that, representing the 49ers, being that guy. But I don't think you're wrong. I don't think that they couldn't have found a quarterback to have a similar success for cheaper. I think that's definitely possible.
And I think a big reason that Brock got the money that he did is because they were so traumatized from the Trey Lance experience. Like, because
Yeah.
they drafted Trey Lance thinking, man, anyone can run this system. And they're like, oh, actually, guy needs a little bit of experience. Otherwise, we're going to have to coach and develop. And that's not necessarily what we do. We install the system. And Trey needed more than installation. So, oh my God, Brock saved our heinies. Thank you. And then it's like, oh wait, no, we made Jimmy. We could do it with Mac. We could have done it with Sam. So anyway, it may work out paying him all this money. It's just a lot. And you know what? That was 20 minutes on Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. Thank you for indulging me.